the fallout from Juventus and Inter, a recap look at Juventus versus Udinese, Juventus racing to sign a replacement for Artur, a preview look at Juventus versus Sampdoria, a detailed look at Juventus' relationship with Dybala, and a detailed look at Giuseppe Marotta's comments on Dybala. Coming in at number 1, joint with Juventus versus Udinese. But first up, Juventus versus Inter. What was the outcome of the match? Well, unfortunately, Juventus lost 2-1 against Inter in the final. And unfortunately, we did not take the Coppa Italia home back to Turin. And it was Alexis Sanchez who scored the winning goal in the final minute of extra time. And it was Alexandro who made the mistake, a costly mistake which evidently led to the goal for Alexis Sanchez and resulted in them winning the game. But in some more positive news, we bounced back. Yes, that's right, we bounced back with Juventus versus Udinese and winning 2-0 against them at the home stadium Torino with Dybala. Yes, that's right, Dybala scoring one of the goals, who is currently unhappy as he gave a death stare to Paulo Dybala, to the upper management at Juventus, as he is currently unhappy about his contract at the moment. But more on that later, stay tuned. And coming in at number 4, Juventus are racing to find a replacement for Artur. That's right, reports have come out that Max Allegri doesn't see Artur in his future plans at Juventus, so offloading him to another club would be ideal. Some names that have been thrown around, and if you checked out my last Juventus News Roundup video, you would have seen that Juventus are attempting to purchase Bruno Gomes, the Brazilian midfielder from Olympique Lyonnais. And if Juventus do get Bruno Gomes, that would be fantastic. However, there is one thing, and that he is valued at 50 million euros, which might be a bit of a too much of a hard task for Juventus to grab him and get him on board to Turin. Coming in at number 3, a preview look at Juventus versus Sampdoria. And what is the situation for Juventus versus Sampdoria in terms of the absentees? We can see that Chiesa is injured, De Ligt is suspended, Bonucci is injured, and Chiellini is going to be recovered for the succeeding game against Milan. But for Juventus versus Sampdoria in the Coppa Italia R16, most likely we'll have a lineup consisting of youngsters and backup players. Therefore, considering this is the case, Juventus will need to keep a good attitude during the 90-minute game. And this is a knockout game, so Juventus need to be on their game. Coming in at number 2, we have Giuseppe Marotta, who is currently the Director of Football at Inter, and he was the ex-Director of Football at Juventus. And he had a few comments to say about Paulo Dybala and his contract. So in regards to this interview, Giuseppe Marotta was quoted saying that, "No, he wasn't looking at me in the stands. When a player of Dybala's caliber approaches the free agency, it is normal that he is approached by every big club. We monitor all market opportunities. We are always trying to raise the bar, but in the offensive department, we are fine and must show some respect to our forwards." So of course, when managers, coaches, and directors of football and players all get interviewed, they always have a predetermined statement. His response was very calculated, and you would think that one of the best directors in football, in world football, he wouldn't be doing his job if he didn't at least give Mr. Paulo Dybala a phone call. So Juventini, let us know what you think about Marotta's comments regarding Dybala. And coming in at number 1, the biggest story of Juventus for the week, Paulo Dybala and his relationship with Juventus upper management and his antics on the pitch. Were they justified? Should he have done it? Should he have not? Let's get into it. So, in relation to the Juventus versus Udinese game, Dybala was seen showing a death stare towards the management, and specifically Paulo Dybala. Got a bit of that in his face. Boom, boom. How do you like that, Paulo Dybala? That's what Dybala is saying. He is unhappy with his contract, and time will tell what happens with his contract as it runs out in June. And if I was a betting man, I wouldn't be too happy if I was Juventus about letting him go. And I would probably win the money back, as Juventus could lose Dybala, which is very sad. We don't want to lose Dybala. We love Dybala. Everyone loves Dybala. All Juventus fans, all Juventini, all Bianconeri love Paulo Dybala, and we do not want him to go. La Jolla, please stay. Don't go. Whatever you do, please stay at Juventus. And as Allegri said not too long ago, only a few months ago, that Paulo Dybala would be at the centre of the project here at Juventus. Can he really leave Juventus on a free transfer at the end of the season? Well, only time will tell, as Juventus have been hit with COVID, obviously, over the last few years. This pandemic has been impacting Juventus' financial ability to sign big new players and enable existing players to be on higher contracts at Juventus. But yes, as I just said, time will tell, and we will see what Juventus does. But other than that, make sure to like and subscribe to Max Statman. Finoallafine and Forza JUVE.